So I'm here at Glen Helen Regional Park, and not only do I want to see what kind of wildlife is out here, besides the human beings out there on the lake fishing, but I also wanted to see how my new sound system would go, and I wanted to do some practice just to get everything going. Got my sound bag and my wireless mic that I'm probably making a lot of noise with right now because I'm touching it. I've also got my shotgun mic. So you live and you learn. And I'm making all sorts of different mistakes as I go along, but it's part of the learning process, and that's how we learn, right? We got to practice the craft. If you want to get good at it, you got to do 1,000 hours to become an expert. And I'm only on like hour number 6, so I've got 964 hours to go. Anyway, there's a lot of people on the lake. The park management maintenance service is going on. They're mowing the lawns. They're using blowers and weed whackers. So there's a lot of noise out that way. So even on a quiet day at the park, there's still cars. There's 2 freeways that flank the park. And if that wasn't bad enough, the bugs are driving me nuts. They're eating me alive from the ground and in the air. We got big old ants all over the place, and we've got all sorts of flies trying to eat me alive here. So one of the long-term favorites and a bird that you can find at Glen Helen Regional Park almost any time of the year is the black Phoebe. Another longtime favorite at Glen Helen Regional Park is the American Coot. Not to be outdone as primary residents of the park, the blue damselfly outnumbers any bird species at least by a factor of 10 to 1. Here you see a pair mating, and the female just went into the water, underwater, to lay her eggs. Here's a lesser goldfinch. He likes to hang out in the trees and look for insects and seeds. Here's a great blue heron. I got some real good footage of him this time, and we'll see more about him in a minute, but let's first look at a guy fishing for no fish in the lake. This is a fluff. Actually, it's a phinopepla. It's not a real common bird. It's only the second time I've seen him. And here's the American Coot, constantly sitting there on the lake, diving for grass and eating and eating and eating. These waterfowl, they do that a lot. They eat a lot. I don't know where they put all that, because, I mean, this is all this guy was doing. All right, let's take another look at the great blue heron. He was basically on a fishing expedition, and unlike most of the humans out there, he was actually catching stuff, although I didn't get lucky enough to see him catch anything. There he goes. He's going off. There's a little stream over into the thickets there, and there's some crawdads in there, because I think the people that go fishing discard their bait into that stream or into the lake even, and so you'll find them at Glen Helen, which I don't think they're native to the area, but the great blue herons are onto them, and they know that they exist, so that's where he's going. He's going to look for crawdads. You would be forgiven if you thought that this bird was eating seeds off the ground, or maybe picking at the ants. In fact, Birds like this female lesser goldfinch and now this male lesser goldfinch are ingesting the grit, the decomposed granite in this case, of this pathway. The grit helps them digest the seeds, which they couldn't do otherwise. Great blue herons can sit there for what seems like hours at a time, motionless, completely motionless. They look like statues as they peer into the water for signs of aquatic life that they'd like to swallow into that stretchy throat they have. Their throat's shaped like a snake because they coil it up, and when they see their prey and are ready to strike, they just uncoil that neck and take a jab at whatever they're trying to catch. And you can see they're very attentive, and they're very deliberate about how they go about hunting for their next meal. Look at those legs. So, he's sitting here looking for food, and I kind of got bored because they can go for so long without doing anything, and who wants to watch them for that amount of time? I certainly don't. But when I wasn't looking, which is right now, he just finished catching a meal, and you can see he's swallowing it there. Now he's going to do a little shake and try to get it down. There he goes. But I missed it. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the strike. But he did catch a meal. Now he's going to wander off. I don't know where he went, but he just wandered off. Probably going to go digest a little bit, or maybe scope out his next meal. There he is by the park bench, ready to find another meal. There's only one of them. I've only seen at most one great blue heron at Glen Helen. They're more common at Prado. But they're always a treat to watch. Just big birds. So once I'd seen all that there was to see over by the lake, I went to another part of the park that was mostly grass and park benches and trees, wide open spaces, to see what else I could find. And I did hear and see some activity, and lo and behold, Acorn Woodpecker. There was a group of about 6 of these guys hanging out under the shade, trying to keep cool and grab a bite to eat. There you saw he flew off, and I don't know if he caught an insect or something, and flew back. Then they wait and then look around and wait to find other insects, flying insects, to enjoy another tasty morsel. This is a black Phoebe again. They were all hanging out by the water fountain that you saw earlier. It had a slow drip, and that was their source of water. And I think they don't hang out by the lake because they try to stay away from human beings. But it was such a hot day. It was probably 95 degrees in the shade. And you'll notice that the the birds have their beaks wide open. I think it helps them cool off. Those woodpeckers have quite some attitude, quite a lot of character. Now I know why they made a cartoon, Woody Woodpecker. I don't know what that bird was doing, but he was bumping into walls. And here's a pair of acorn woodpeckers. And that was about all I saw. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Bye.